Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and here I am digging out another vintage kit or older kit from my stash. If any of you guys recognize this kit, pretty rare. You don't see too many of them, but you know that brand, Testors. And this is the 1971 Cuda. This is the hobby shop only release, and it's kind of surprising, that this is a fairly new release or one of the last releases of this tool, which makes me wonder about its history and everything. But there's some things on the box here that are kind of worth noting. It talks about the detailed interior with roll bars. You got your full-on race interior, extra set of cast metal wheels, which are shown here. And then you've got the drag wheels and tires right here. Detailed 426 Hemi motor right there. Okay, and if you guys know Testors and their history, they pretty much didn't make any kits. They just reboxed other kits. So this one just says Testors on it, but this one was only available in hobby shops from what I can recall and remember. I remember not thinking too much about the kit, but kind of, seen it, but didn't really buy it. Plus, it was kind of expensive. 1997, and this was purchased here locally. We had Ben Franklin's Crafts here locally. I didn't buy this one new, but it was purchased locally. I got it from a collection here locally, and there's some interesting things on here. And most noticeably on the bottom of the box is kind of, gives a hint of when it was made. Testors USA and the addresses, you can kind of figure that out, but look at this. There's the website address. Okay. So how old is the internet? www dots. It's kind of weird to think about that stuff. But this kit's from 1997, and it's kind of funny that that's the price, but this kit's from 1997. And I'll show you that here in a minute here. But opening the box, you'll recognize a lot of this stuff as the Johann 71 Cuda. Now, I know they had the original Sox and Martin release, picture up here. Not sure when that actually came out, as I bought my kit in the 80s, and I don't truly know if that kit was issued once in 1971 or continuously, or when it was actually released the first time. ScaleMate says 1971, but not really sure that's 100% true or not. Don't really know. So I don't know the true history of it, but I did build one. So, here's my build-up. Not exactly stock, but it's my build-up. And it's the Sox and Martin Cuda. A couple little extra details, but I did feature this one on the channel. Now, I had fun building that one, and I took another one, built it into the 70 with some resin parts. And so I built a couple of them and really enjoyed them and had fun building them. But I got into the history and story of these from way back, and those are in there. But here's what you got in that kit. Now, this kit really isn't any different. You can recognize that body. There's no changes that I know of on here, except for maybe one, but that's just maybe my memory. But check that out. A complete body, not modified. There's that real simple chassis. It's a race car chassis. There's no details. It's the full race car setup. Same thing with the interior tub. No back seat. Got mounts for the roll bars. The shifter. But it's all the Johann stuff. So some pretty cool stuff in here. And then here's what I don't remember. The window mounts here with the pins that's on this body and the pin mounts here. I don't quite remember if those were in the originals, the ones that I built there. But I'm not 100% sure. So, but very familiar chrome tree with the Dominator carburetors, the deep and shallow keystones here, which I believe is what those are. The dual plug Hemi valve covers, Dana 60, the race steering wheel, all this good stuff here. So nothing new or changed in that. And we got this very familiar tree, the roll bar, front and rear valance panels, the engine parts, dual distributors, because that's the way this one was, with all the parts there and the engine. My example is pretty flash free and everything. Here's the glass, which has some marks and some stuff in it, but be expected. One of the windows fell off. It was on here, but it's in there. Yep, it's in there. There's the other window. Okay. And we got the very familiar hood, plain firewall, dash here with hardly any gauges, but it's kind of a stock dash. The universal radiator hoses, you know, all the stuff that this kit is known for as far as the Johan. And, you know, the suspension, headers, gas tank. Then it even has those Firestone Drag 500 wheels. And then the inner pieces right here if you haven't seen those before. So the only parts that were actually added to this kit, and some of the other parts that fell off, there's the 2 race seats, 2 more of the wheel backs, which I think those are fronts, but I'm not 100% sure which one's fronts and which one's rears. And the instructions. And also the taillight lens here. Which I kind of wonder if this one's actually molded in clear red because some of the originals were painted. They were molded in clear and then painted the red. But this is the Testor's instructions. And, you know, it talks about, you know, some of Chrysler's history. Not really much about the Cuda. There's a lot of nice information here. But some pretty cool stuff. But another hint. The date. 02/10/97. If that's what that means. So February 10th of 97. And that's what I understand was this kit was issued in 97. On here also, they also have the web address as well. So, but no decals. But this one actually has the receipt. September, I don't know if you can show it, September 26th of 97 for 1997, but it was on sale for 35% off. So, a whole whopping $13.57 plus tax. So $14.55 total after tax. Paid $20.05 cash, $5.50 back. So kind of cool. You know, a lot of nostalgia here. Looking at all of these parts in here. So, which I enjoy. But here's the pewter wheels. All right. So there's that. And then the only other thing they added to this one, here's those low profile tires, which, you know, late 90s, we were seeing this kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. And they actually say something on them. Kind of hard to read through the bag. Looks like BF Goodrich Comp TAs. So BF Goodrich Comp TAs. Cool stuff. I'll start putting some of this stuff back. But pretty cool kit. And you hardly ever see these, but because of the box and everything, you know, you don't see them, or you run into them, and some people are selling them and they don't know what they actually have, and you can find these sometimes at a bargain. So I'll start putting some of this stuff away. The only thing that's really missing from the original decals, which I didn't really use, which is kind of funny because I've got extras. Because for a while these were easy to find, and I think you still find them. But, you know, got those. But Slicks makes some nice decals, which is what I used on my builds. These are from Slicks. So, you know, here I can build another Sox and Martin Cuda if I wanted to out of this kit, or build another one of the race Cudas. Don't really know what my plans are for this one, but I figured I would just kind of show it as, you know, kind of an oddball one that is, you know, out there. And when you see the box, and sometimes they show up, they don't sell for a whole lot of money. Some people will ask a lot, and some people just selling them because they don't really, it's a good value when you don't really look for the specific box. But as I was talking about the original box arts, of course, the actual Sox and Martin box art one seems to be the most valuable. People really, you know, grab that one. Don't know if they really go for this one that came out in 97. Now, Johan did offer another one in, I believe, the early 90s. They all would say different things. Like this one just says Cuda. The other one says Street Machine, I think. But it's, the kit is pretty much unchanged. And then even after this, in 1999, there was one more Testor's box with the blue car on the box art, if I remember right. But I'll throw that picture up as well. You know, so they're they're out there. And I know as desirable as some of these Johan kits are becoming, this one is one that should, do pretty well too. But it's just kind of amazing how much they were back then. When I think most kits were like $10 or $11 in the late 90s that I remember. When I got back into it, I remember, getting them at $15 in like 2002, 2003 as far as model kits went. But you could still find them on sale for, $10 and sometimes as low as $8. And I remember the $5 Walmart checker boxes that came out in like 2005. So I would grab those as well. So you guys, I thought this would be kind of fun to show off and talk about, especially since it's one of the unusual ones and it's the hobby shop only release. And, I don't know if it went into some of the other stores as well. But I mean, Ben Franklin's Crafts was not really a nationwide brand maybe that I know of, but they were pretty big around here, which was cool. But you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and how many you've actually seen, this version out there. I don't know how many were actually made, but I know I don't run into them too often. But you guys, you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.